What's going on, everyone? So I pivoted. Instead of making cybersecurity, instead of making video or AI animated video thingamajiggies about video games I played as a kid, I'm trying to put together a presentation, whatever the fuck thing they're called, for why people should get into cybersecurity and all that bullshit. Because somehow, some way, people think this is staged and it's not. I'm really just upset at this stupid whore, and they're just like in control of a bunch of like publicity bullshit. So they're like pivoting it and all that bullshit, and like, who comes out in a minute? And look, the reason why I wake up, look, if I'm being totally honest, yes, probably I am milking this shit for as much as I can to insult her and call her names as much as possible. Because I already know what her next move is going to be. She's going to ask me for more money. Because she told me that, but not in those words. The last thing she said to me directly was, have you gotten a job yet? And I hate to say it like this, but this is half the reason why I started working for the startup, because technically I'm working and just not getting paid, so she can't bitch about, no one can say I'm not working, I'm just not getting paid until I get another contract and whatnot. Because literally everything this stupid whore does is based around money, but she has none of it. It's literally like she's a deposed royalty Joseon and they have no more money, or inflation hit them and they have no money, or they just are just so greedy and bastardly that they don't decrepit, they just do not spend their own money. She's waiting for me to get another high-paying job so she can ask me for money or some bullshit like that. It's the Buddhist healing chant and the EDM shit in the background that I have going on. Look, I'm not wishing harm on anyone. I hope everyone recovers, just like I'm sure you hope my dad recovers. What I'm saying is, if I had that same force thingamajiggy that's affecting you all is affecting my family and the version of my dad. And all that bullshit. COVID, tyrannical laws, what the fuck you want to call it, 4D chess, I don't give a shit. There's something in negative vibes that's affecting people because there's like a negative hot potato that's being played karmically, and no one goes, alright, I'll just let it explode on me and deal with it. Which is essentially what I'm trying to do for what I can do for my part. I paid my niece back. I should be up an extra $20,000 in profits, but I paid my niece back instead of invested it and then paid my niece back because it was her money. Tiffany stole it. It was my responsibility to get it back to her. It's Tiffany's responsibility to take care of her shit. She won't do it. So Witch's Coven can go on and on and on about adult relationships, write articles, and all that bullshit. You stole from a child to hang out with a bunch of posers because you're contractually obligated to, or just that much of a stupid whore. You thought it was a good idea, you tried to sell it as a good idea, and now you're being, oh, I'm offended that he won't let me get away with some bullshit for my geriatric woke bullshit. Hopefully that's one of my Forex things that just hit. Anyways, I have a job interview in a little under an hour. I'm going to eventually get working again because I have a career. If nothing else, this is not some kind of a humble brag. She really stole $100,000, some of it from a child. Like, if something was to happen to the family, that would be all she has to her name. Like, I'm not, this is like worst case scenario, but like, if everyone poof vanished and she was in an orphanage, she would be in an orphanage with that 10K, 11K now because I paid her interest. Do you see how much of a cunt Tiffany is? She doesn't give a fuck. To her, that's just some more shoes. Another collaboration. She's a geriatric used goods whore because she does shit like that. The ghetto shit, the fucking, pea sitting down shit, that's flavor. That's flavor for whatever the fuck she does. I'll make up something else. Because I don't believe that she's really sorry that she stole from a kid. I believe she's sorry she's stuck in Korea because it's cold as fuck and she wants to be in LA. That's what I believe. That's why I'm calling her names. And I know the moment I get a job, this whore is going to magically show up asking for more money because she's some Joseon prick, or she's ruled by a Joseon prick, whoever the fuck that asshole was. It's like some old school. It's like some old school like contract. Like, you must pay the price. You. Okay. Well. In the Skeeve book, he's in the Bazaar of Diva, and the dragon bites his sleeve and eats it, and that counts as feeding the dragon, because if a dragon imprints on you, it's worthless and you can't sell it to anyone else. So they're like, you owe us money because the dragon imprinted on you. And he's like, technically you should have been watching your dragon better. And the dragon, whose name was Gleep, just said Gleep. And long and the short, he had to end up buying the dragon just to make things easier. That's kind of like what they're doing with Tiffany. They're like, you touched it last, or whatever the fuck. Because there's always like some thing where like no one's allowed to touch her. Dude, I was all over that bitch. Like, I was all over that bitch. And she wrote songs about it, and they're like, you must pay now! You must pay! The thing is, though, that was 7 years ago. That was like 6 years ago. And you already done pimped her out, and you're trying to pretend like it's some kind of a steal. And it's not, because you all pimped her out. I would have been willing to pay the price back then when she was Stephanie. The fact that you carved off her nose and did the thingies to her eyes and bleached her skin and hair extensions, you turned her from Stephanie into Tiffany. And I didn't even know that Tiffany had become young. I still thought she was Wang. I thought she was still Galaxy Supernova. So you took what I would have been willing to pay for, turned it into what I am not willing to pay for, and are demanding that I pay for it. Joseon bullshit.